Shabam shaboom. I'm still pissed off about that damn hat.
Did you have
Ridiculous.
cake? Did you have cake?
Unbelievable, that hat.
Did you have cake and eat it too?
Yeah, I had cake. Amy made a German chocolate cake. Yeah, right.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Let them have cake.
All right, here we go. Hey,
Wow.
everybody. Welcome to Saturday. It's a beautiful day in Corpus Christi, Texas. It is about 98,000 degrees, and the sun is beating down.
There's a breeze, man. It's
There's some
fine.
people. There's some bikinis down at the beach. There's
Right.
people flowing. There's beers
Exactly.
going. And we're here to talk some shit and some sports and some shenanigans. By the way, we do swear, and so if you don't like it, I'm sorry. We have beer on the table, and that's who our sponsors are going to be today, and the Great Exchange. Honor the Exchange. Thank you.
We are.
Thank you for hosting us here.
Again.
All right.
Hey, how you
So
doing?
this is going to be a good day, fellas. Good day. Episode 17. Holy fucking shit.
No, right?
Right?
Holy
Episode 17.
shit. All right, to my left, men that need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway because I can't fucking stand them. Bob needs to find a Tinneroni day, Essenbachen. And next to him is Chef, already in the red before he hits ground in Vegas, Tony.
Yeah, buddy. What's up going on? What's up, everybody?
And at the end, Hank, aloha fuckers.
Aloha,
Harrison.
fuckers. I could dig that.
How's everybody doing today?
Doing great.
man.
All right, I think we're going to jump right into some.
up, Rick?
I think we've got to start off with the NBA, right?
I think
I mean, this
Yeah.
shit's crazy.
We can start right into it. I mean, it's if you ask me, I'm the first to admit when I'm right. I'm the third or fourth to admit when I'm wrong, and I guess it's my turn. So I'm real surprised about this. And somehow or another, Kawhi Leonard, he whom I do not respect any damn more because I'm pissed off at him and will be forevermore.
Can't hate the game.
I don't even want to hate the player anymore though, because I'm inspired now. Him and Danny Green are just tearing it up on that court, and they're showing themselves to really respect their home court in a way that I think the only other person that could do it is Drake. Seriously,
Let's back up to when they took out Toronto, or they took out Milwaukee.
Well, I'm
you know,
still
on
surprised by
at the
that,
end of our
too.
last episode. so
I didn't expect that to happen.
No.
I thought the Bucks were gonna show themselves to be a lot more of a system team, but that's because I'm, my own team is a system team, and so I have a tendency to root for those teams over stars, especially stars that I have a grudge against. I'll tell you what, man, the Bucks did not have. I think enough balls just bounced the wrong way. Game 3 was a close one, and the Raptors just managed to do it again. It was an overtime game. It's a 6-point differential. It was pretty close, but I mean.
yeah, what was it? 100 to 194.
To 112.
Oh, okay, that was the final. Okay.
Yeah. But the last one when Toronto won the series, that was the last one, 100 to 94. But
Yeah, that's
but
what
still,
I was thinking of. Yeah.
I feel like Toronto got like baptized in that, and the way that I thought Milwaukee did, and honestly the way that I thought Denver did when they won that series against San Antonio. But now we're looking at a team that's clicking on all cylinders, and they're matching up really, really, really well against Golden State without Kevin Durant.
Say, how much are they missing
Without
him now, you
KD,
know?
yeah.
So
Yeah,
here's the
big
thing, though.
deal there.
If he's not playing game 2.
He's
He's
No,
out for game
He's
2.
out.
Yep.
Exactly. He's out for game 2. He's scratched. But the thing is there's a lot of pressure on Golden State to win this game in Toronto. If they win this game in Toronto, it's an entirely different series. But if you ask me, it's not really a series until the home team loses. Yep. We need a home team loss, and I don't see that happening in Toronto. I mean,
I think when you
game 2 tomorrow night.
it's tomorrow night.
the matchup is too strong.
Yep.
Toronto's defense.
It's Sunday at 7 p.m.
He's owning
Yeah.
the midcourt. I mean, and if Kawhi Leonard's going to keep doing what he's doing, I mean, it'd be tough.
I think all Golden State dominance aside for the past 5 years, I think if you go into Toronto and come back to Oakland with a split, I think everybody's happy with that. I think you go in there and you come into a really raucous crowd. I mean, Toronto, they haven't seen this shit before.
No.
And you got that asshole Drake on the sidelines doing his thing. I mean, and I love you, Drake. I'm just fucking with you. I'm actually wearing your shoes right now. I'll show him in a minute. But I mean, it's. I think you're coming out of it with a split. If they can win tomorrow night and they go back to Oakland or go back to Golden State with a split, I think they're happy with that. I think they're happy where they're at because it's still. Then it just turns into a best of 5, and they got 2 games at home.
Yeah.
So I mean,
honestly, I think the home team wins it out.
We're going to see. They're playing good defense right now, and that's what won game 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Defense
Golden
all over
State's
the
still a
place.
2-point dog. I think that it makes sense it's that close, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was more like 4 to 6 points.
I
Really.
think another big question here, or another big thing we should talk about is all the questions about, hey, does Golden State, and this we're talking 1-2 games here, but does Golden State need Kevin Durant? Like,
right.
We're
about to find out.
I think he could have helped them quite a bit in game 1.
Yep.
If he was sharp, but I mean, he's been off the court for quite a while.
Yeah.
How sharp is he going to be?
But I do see that Andre Iguodala is available for game 2, so he'll be back at least. So they'll get some help. Some help is coming, but I don't know. It'll be at Sunday night, 7 p.m. We'll see what happens.
When do you think Durant comes back?
If he comes back.
That's what I'm saying.
I
don't know.
wondering
There
how
hasn't-
much of it he's just hanging
He's
out.
there
not
hasn't
come
been a
back
de-
for game fucking.
I bet he
for
comes back game
5.
4.
I was gonna say game 5, but either way, game
Has
4
there
or
been a
5.
definitive report about what the status of his injury is, or the
Steve Kerr
severity
talked
of
about
it?
it this morning. Yeah, Steve Kerr talked about it on ESPN.
What
They
was
asked
that?
him,
What was he
and he
say?
said, we're not bringing him back because it's one of those injuries
He's
that
not done with his bag of
if it's-
Cheetos.
If it hurts again or he hurts it, he's out for the entire series. So they'd rather wait a game and bring him back when it's 100% instead of bringing him back at 97%.
I'll tell you
I tell you this: if they go down
He's got
3
to play
games
game
at
3,
anything, if they're down to 3 games,
He's playing.
they're coming in for
Guaranteed.
game. Yeah, if it's a winner go home, he's coming in.
Unless
I
he's
don't-
trying to get
eh,
traded.
If he's a true warrior,
Exactly.
he's coming in. Hockey players, you gotta be knocked the fuck out to not be playing
Even
in
NFL players. I mean,
Yeah.
you see guys play with broken legs, broken arms, broken wrists, broken
Where?
fingers. In the NFL, man,
Oh,
yeah.
all you do is tape that shit up and get your ass out on the field and you play some more.
Ronnie
Yeah.
Lott's the only one who had his finger amputated because he didn't want to have to deal with it.
Whatever,
That's
dude.
Everybody else.
What
they
about
limp
that?
around
What about that
and
bozo from Oakland? The shit. What was his name?
The dual sport Bo Jackson?
No. The guy that would like snap people's fingers and shit in the piles. I can't
Major
remember. His name.
Pain?
Can't remember his damn
Conrad
name.
Dobler.
Probably
No,
Howie
He was
Anyway.
a
Long.
bastard too.
Probably
But anyway.
Howie Long.
Oh,
That
Romo.
means
His name
something.
Romanowski.
Romo.
Yeah.
He played for the
Romanowski,
Broncos.
yeah.
That bastard.
He was crazy.
He was literally kept in a cage and fed raw meat until game day, and then let out and then put right back in.
Yeah,
The
like
game
Not
was-
straight
let
out of a
out.
fucking
He
movie.
He was
released.
released.
All right. Let's bring it back to the NBA. So
Yeah.
anyway, we talked about Toronto beating Milwaukee and
All right.
advancing. Obviously, Drake's antics on the
Drake-
sideline,
Yeah, why is he on the
rubbing the head coach's shoulders. Like,
Why
what
is
are
he
you
that-
doing,
why
bro?
Is he that allowed on the court? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
I mean, I get it.
Why has
Toronto
Spike Lee
doesn't
been
have
allowed
a
on the
whole lot
court
of
forever
shit
and
going
ever?
on,
It's the
but
same
like,
damn situation.
You gotta get rid of that.
It's
if
a
I'm the
crock
head
of shit.
coach and I got a rapper coming and rubbing my shoulders, like I'll be
Yeah,
like, hey,
I
I'm in the
don't
middle
agree
of
with
a
any of
fucking
that.
game.
You know
Get off
why?
my fucking sidelines.
It's a coincidence of conveniences. I mean, everybody likes the press if they're in Toronto. The coach doesn't want to start really pushing back against his biggest fan because he's not exactly that style of coach. If this is Bill Parcells, he would have turned around and thrown him an elbow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, this is like Bill Parcells, not a basketball.
You see anybody
player.
rubbing pop shoulders during the middle of the
That's what I'm
game?
saying.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
not going to happen.
Can you imagine that? I mean,
But
it's,
the NBA is unique in the fact that you do have fans right on top of you,
right?
like could touch you.
Yeah.
That's unique to the NBA.
Unless
Like,
you're on our test, then you can touch them.
yeah.
Then you can touch them.
Yeah.
Well, so how about this? I mean, do you think Draymond Green is going to reach out and touch Drake at a certain point?
Hey,
that would be
I like that little
the thing.
exchange at the end with
I liked it
Dre
too.
Hay going up into getting into Drake's face and Drake
liked
calling him trash, and then Draymond at the end saying he's got no problem with it because Drake's worked so hard to get to where he's at. He doesn't care. It's a game and blah blah blah. I mean, Draymond's one of the best shit talkers of all time, and you could tell Drake's trying to do his best to be the next Spike Lee on the side of the court. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And Drake, I got you, bro.
He's-
I got you. Your OVO Jordan 10s, I got you.
Oh my God.
Your first signature shoe, I got you here,
He's
buddy.
selling more
great.
shoes and he's selling more albums, man. I mean,
Wow.
he's doing exactly what he needs to be. Who was it that was saying it earlier? Like his job is to be a hooer. His job is to sell himself. That's
What
he's
was
supposed to be doing.
what was I think Stephen A. Smith had some comments about it too. I didn't actually catch him because actually I gotta admit, anytime I see Stephen A. Smith saying anything, I probably turn it off.
I'm
usually
muted,
vomit.
that's for sure.
I really can't, and it sucks because I'm like I'm supposed to be unbiased and pay attention to that stuff because we talk about it, but like that's one guy, him and Skip Bayless. I can't listen to either of them.
Skip's gotten a little annoying. He's a little better without Stephen A. Smith with him, I think. But
Yeah, because
you know.
Stephen A. is with Max Kellerman now, right?
yeah.
And I know
And
Max
Skip's
mostly
with-
from
Skip's
boxing
with,
stuff,
Who?
but-
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah,
Sterling
yeah.
Sharp, one of the
Yeah.
Sharps.
One of the
I don't know.
Sharps.
Hey, real quick.
That's
speaking
on
of-
Undisputed, right?
Yeah. Speaking of NBA players,
Yeah, let's
one
talk
of your
about
one of your boys, man, one of the Fab Five, going back to coach.
Jawan Howard.
Yeah, buddy, I like that move. I like that that a lot. I think
do
that's
too. I
real
think that
smart.
was
Hey,
great
that's
move.
that's coming under a lot of scrutiny. But you know,
think he's-
they're like, he doesn't have head coaching experience. The dude's been in Miami for.
No kidding,
he's
man.
been coaching he's been assistant coach in Miami for however long. He played for fucking over 15 years or
Yeah.
something
Yep.
like that. I mean, the guy is a legend. Like, you don't think he's capable of reading the game? And I mean, sometimes you. What are you going to do?
Jason
You
Kidd
got-
had no
are you gonna
coaching experience,
recycle?
and he's been a head coach for quite some time.
Are you
going to
recycle and try to go get someone else? No one could have predicted that John Beilein was going to abruptly quit and go to the Cavaliers.
No way.
Yeah, that was a
So
little
the
shock.
Michigan did their best. And I think they did the best move they could have made. Maybe they should have interviewed more people. Maybe they should have.
Who else?
But when
Chris,
you got it, when
Chris
you got
Webber
a,
and Jalen Rose. I mean, who else are they going to interview?
when you got a guy, a legend like Juwan Howard, that's been assistant coach in the NBA for a while now, and you think that he might be the guy that's going to take you in, then fucking do it. I don't see a problem with it.
Dude, I don't either. I think it's a good move. I think it's actually a really good move.
Time
to
will tell.
solidify
But, I
and
mean,
to-
take a
and
shot.
and to forget about 1993. At least for a good long while, and maybe once and for all. Chris Webber, man, gotta love him.
Yeah.
He did that shit in the NBA too once, I believe. So it's
Yeah.
not like that was single. But
No,
anyway,
he was
I
in
like
the West
it.
Wing.
Jalen, yeah, right. What? Jalen Rose seems to be okay with it. I'm okay with it. I think it's
I think it's a great
I think it's
move.
mending fences, and it's good for Michigan
yeah, yeah.
basketball.
I do too.
Not my favorite team, but I still like the move. It's great.
Hey, did you guys notice that Drake, going back to Drake, he wore a signed Del Curry jersey?
Yeah, I saw that. That was great.
That was funny, dude. I thought that was he was kind of getting into Steph's head a little bit. Got his dad's jersey on, like
He's also got Seth's dad's jersey on.
yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. But also, I got on here to note that Boogie Cousins is coming back too,
Saw that. That's
and I love me some Cousins.
healthy Golden State is probably going to go ahead and take this series, but without him, without Iguodala, without Cousins, without Durant, man, that's
It's
a
an uphill
whole
climb.
different.
Is anybody
ballgame.
interested
Yeah.
in a
Uphill
bet? I know
climb.
we're already a game deep into it, but I'd like to make a bet on this particular series. I don't think we have on this series.
I think I think we
thought
need
did
to.
last week. Don't
I think
review
we and I don't remember
tough to
because
do now 'cause
we'll
we're
have to
already a
review
game
the
deep.
tape, and we got Jack and our producer here. But I think you bet me that Milwaukee was going to win that game
No,
7.
you're right.
So
You are right on that. I lost that bet.
so that means I'm only in the hole to 40 now.
correct.
So
right.
I'm
Thank you
willing
again,
to.
Xavier.
Right, it was
Appreciate
gonna
that.
be done.
I'm willing
Yeah.
to
Ball.
chip away at that bet a little bit and say that Toronto's going to win this series, and I'll put the 40 on
Oh
it.
fuck. Well, I was gonna say Toronto was gonna win too.
God,
I was-
well,
I was gonna
all
say
right.
Toronto.
God damn it.
How about this? Let's bet on tonight.
All right. Tonight, I say Golden State wins.
Ooh, all right. I'll take Toronto.
Ooh.
There you go.
boys.
20 bucks.
Boom.
$20. There we
There you
go.
go.
$20 holla.
Or it's tomorrow
I'm
night.
chipping
huh?
away at my debt here, boys. Yep, Sunday night, 7
Right on.
p.m.
Yeah,
Central
right, there
time. Central time.
There we go. There we go. I'm gonna be done printing shirts by then, so maybe I'll be actually able.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And hey, let's make mention of the fact that Xavier's the reason for that goddamn bet, and he still
Yep.
hasn't showed up to one of our shows.
He-
Still
No,
not here.
you
I'm
remember-
working days now, but I can't show up for
Well,
anything
no,
on the
no,
weekend.
Exactly. Xavier's been too busy to show up, man. I mean, he was
There's
one of the
university,
original
Marcus.
panelists. Yeah.
Sorry,
Anyway.
Mark.
All right,
Marcus
any
Steve
guys?
feels
You
we
guys
need
want
more
to touch
diversity.
anything else about the NBA before
I'm
we
done
move on?
with
Yeah, I'm
NBA
done
for
with
today.
I'm over.
Well,
I got one thing.
All right,
by
here
the
we
way.
go.
Bob
I
has
got
one
one
thing.
thing. Zion Williamson finally signed
got
with
him.
an agent,
Got
by
an
the
agent.
way. So he's now going to get picked by somebody.
All right. Here-
Signed by
here-
somebody. We'll see if they trade him away or not.
The way too early prediction. What happens with Zion? Tell me.
Wow.
I
Talk about way too
personally
early.
think he's going with the Pelicans. Zion, listen to Uncle Bob. I'd sign a 3-year
Uncle
contract,
Bob.
not 5-year. That way you can get the hell out like Davis. Right? Davis is gone.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think? What do you think, Tony?
Oh, I agree. I think if Zion stays, if all right, where's what's his name?
He's
What-
not
the-
going back to Duke.
No, the other kid from Duke. No.
Oh,
That's not
Barrett?
happening.
RJ Barrett?
Yeah,
He's
Barrett.
going to New York. He's going to the Knicks.
Is that definite?
No, but that's
so
what
the
everybody's
Pelicans.
saying.
If the Pelicans try to get Barrett and they play together, I think he plays for the Pelicans. I don't know that Zion plays for the Pelicans if he doesn't have Davis or Barrett or anybody else he freaking
I think-
knows or likes.
And I think if you're the Pelicans, you're going to draft Zion, I think you got an interesting argument to try to keep AD there now.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
I think if you can try to build a team around it, I don't think New Orleans is. I mean, that's where the Pelicans are,
Yeah,
right? I don't
yeah.
think New Orleans is a bad place. I would love to go
Hell,
play
I
in
live
New
there all
Orleans.
day long.
It's
Yeah.
better
I'd love
than
to go visit
fucking
New Orleans.
Cleveland.
New York in the
It is
winter? Are you
better.
kidding
Yeah,
me?
that's what I mean.
Even New York in the winter, it sucks dick, man. It's
Yeah.
cold. It's windy.
I mean, there are a hell of a lot
frozen.
worse
Ugh.
places to play. Like
Yeah,
you don't want to
below
be
sea
in,
level.
you don't want to be in like Minnesota, Milwaukee. I mean, I'm talking about weather-wise. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I think. When a free
It's
agent
hot.
signs, like you got to think like, and I'm
Where
sure
do
they
I want to live?
Yeah, do I want to live this motherfucker? Like,
99% humidity all year round.
everybody should be playing at the for the Heat or
It's happened before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, big three. R.I.P.
All right.
All right, let's move on to your favorite topic, the NHL.
There we go. Let's talk hockey, baby. Let's talk hockey.
Let me feel it, boys. Let me feel it. All right, yeah. So I picked the Blues to win this series. Boston came out and they had rust in the first game. Game
Did we
one.
bet on this?
They came, what's that?
Did we bet on this?
No. Do you want to now?
No, I did. No, keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, do your thing.
Boston came out and they had rust. And we talked about that, the long layoff, whether or not it was going to be detrimental or whatever. But they did have some rust. And St. Louis came out and they were flying, but they didn't get enough. They got off to an early 2-0 lead.
2-0, yep.
And they were flying, but they did not get enough pucks on Tuukka Rask. Tuukka Rask looked shaken and they looked rusty. They should have foot on their throat. They had them right against the ropes where they wanted them early on, and then they come out of the second period, and Boston is zinging. Boston took over that game, scored 4 unanswered goals, and the Blues looked dead.
Well, they
Absolutely
also broke the
dead.
rules. They had more guys in the penalty box than share. You know what I mean? It was-
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
that
a
was
bit-
funny.
that's
that
a-
was Bob. That was fucking funny.
Good, Bob.
that's a good point because St. Louis does need to stay off they need to stay out of the penalty box. They need to quit taking stupid penalties.
What the hell?
But to that point, Boston's top penalty unit, power play unit, David Pastrnak and Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron, they were held off the scoreboard except for an empty netter at the very end. So their top line, Ryan O'Reilly and all those guys, they were shutting them down. Vladimir Tarasenko, he got a goal in the first game, but they just didn't look. They didn't have it.
Yeah, man.
So that's how game one looked like. The Bruins knocked off the rust, and then in the second and third they came out and absolutely dominated. And then all the pundits, everybody after game one was said, man, the second and third, that's Bruins hockey. Blues looked like they couldn't keep up. They're done. They're done.
Nope.
Everybody's saying maybe 5 games. Bruins got this in 5 games. Keep in mind, this was in the Gardens. This was in Boston. So, anyway, everybody wrote off St. Louis after game one, and then they came out and had an absolute game in game two. Game two was a different story. Rask looked beatable. They got more pucks on net. And I think if St. Louis gets more pucks on Rask and continues to shut down Boston's top line, because again in game two, Boston's top line wasn't on the scoreboard, and I think this could be way more of a series. Go 7, and it's a pick 'em at that point. I think.
I'm glad because after game one, after you and I talked about filling it with the Blues, oh man, I was like, oh shit, that was the wrong pick. But they did. They came out. They skated well. They played well. I thought the defense.
And we got a
looked
tied
great.
series, just like we were talking about earlier. If Golden State could come back and do it, St. Louis would be happy to go back to St. Louis with a best of 5 instead of a best of 7.
Absolutely.
So I think it's going to be interesting. I got some interesting notes from this. This game is actually tonight, 7 p.m. Central. I think it's on NBC Sports.
NBC, yeah.
Or is it on NBC, the actual channel? It's
Yeah.
it might be.
Yeah,
It's
no,
either
it's on NBC Sports Network.
okay.
All right. Then it's
So it's on 220 if you got DirecTV.
Exactly.
So the interesting notes from Game 2: Oscar Sundqvist is suspended for Game 3 for a hit to the head on the Bruins player. I don't remember who it was. And one interesting note: the goal that was scored in overtime. This is the great one. Carl Gunnarsson, not a goal scorer. He's a defenseman. He's kind of a stay-at-home defenseman. He rang one off the post. He roped one off the post early in that game. And story came out after he scored the OT goal in Game 2 that he was at the pisser. He was during intermission going into overtime. He was at the pisser. The coach walks in, stands in the urinal right next to him, and he looked over at the coach and said, "I just need one more shot. Put me on the power play unit or put me in the OT one more time. Next time I get one, I'm rifling it to the top corner." And that's exactly what happened in overtime.
Yeah.
Coach
Called
put
it.
him out there,
Called
and
the
he
shot.
called his shot and roofed it top shelf, top titty, as they say.
Top titty.
He right where Mama keeps the cookies, and it was an epic moment. And then that story coming out afterwards about telling Coach next to him at the urinal that, "Hey, I just need one more shot, put me back in," and then
That's
it's cool.
Put me
It's a
in,
cool
Coach.
story. So, and
So
then
what do you think happens with the rest of the series?
Yeah, I
Anybody's game, in my opinion. It's great. I'm just glad, like I said, it's even. I like the way they're both skating. We got to see.
The game is in St. Louis tonight?
I'm done making
The game's in
predictions.
St. Louis tonight?
yeah, two games. The next 2 games are in St. Louis.
I'll say St. Louis in 6.
Ooh, baby, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're gonna
Just so my boy, whatever his name is, gets his $100,000.
Yeah.
I hate to
What
say
do
it,
you
but
think?
I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say Boston in 7.
Yeah, I've been very vocal about my anti-Boston,
I'm
anti-Masshole
anti-Boston too, but I think the Bruins take it in
sentiments.
7. I think they wear them down.
I'll tell you this: I'd be happy if this series goes 7, and then I don't really care who wins, because I just want to see some good hockey, and I want to love NHL playoffs.
Did you write the first bet down in the log?
I will.
All right, we'll write
Yeah,
this one down
I
too.
know.
All right.
Let's do another
All I know
$20.
is-
I'll take Boston. I don't know what the series is gonna come. I'm not gonna put it in.
You take Boston for the
I'll
series?
take Boston for the series for 20.
On the check, the body check, without his helmet. That was a fucking great fucking.
Yeah,
hit,
Torrey
by the way, for
Krug.
Game 1.
Torrey
Yeah.
Krug. Yeah, he
That was fucking
he
insane.
was down in this is a
All
great
the
thing.
way in the
These
goal.
I wish we would have had this already teed up. We could have showed you guys. It was awesome because they're fighting down below the goal line, and they're wrestling around on the ground. Torrey Krug and David Perron. And David Perron just fucking smokes him in the back of the head, knocks his helmet off, and he gets up and he's running after him, he's skating after him, he's trying to find him, and he's like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna go get into the play.
I'm just gonna get the puck.
Yeah, so then he starts skating toward the puck, and he's charging, and then this poor guy, Rob Thomas, has no idea it's coming, and it's old school hockey. Torrey Krug coming down, Michigan boy. What's up, boys? And he comes down and just freight trains him, leveled him with no helmet on, and just smoked him. I guarantee he got some fucking pussy that night, because goddamn Torrey Krug,
That
you
was
looked
a
like
hit.
an
That was a
animal.
hit. I gotta
Like the Boston Garden erupted.
Yeah, they
like
did.
they were like, holy shit, and that was one of the turning points in the game.
Exactly.
It was wild.
That gave the momentum back. That's why they won 4-2, right?
Yeah, it was
Whatever
great.
the hell it was.
So anyway, Hank, you got 20 on Boston on the series, and then we got 20 on Golden State tonight. I have Golden State tonight.
Yeah, I've got Toronto tonight.
Okay,
But
I
I've
got
got
some
Toronto
bet now,
overall
would
for
it?
the series though.
another real quick note, and just for NHL, Evgeny Kuznetsov, star forward for the Washington Capitals, got busted with some being filmed with coke on a table in front of him.
What?
Yeah, those
Oh,
Russians, they
no.
like to party.
Well played, sir. Well
yeah.
played.
They said that
Hey, wasn't there a coach was it the NFL or college that had got busted with the same thing? Doing blow, and then his secretary was in the office. Or
Oh,
something.
They
It
don't
was
allow
like
cell
last
phones.
year, the
shit.
year
They don't
before.
allow cell phone
It was-
parties,
there was-
goddammit.
there
Yeah,
was a
that's-
thing that happened. I
That
can't remember.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, something
But
else.
the funny thing about this story is the NHL has accepted his story, and there won't be any punishment.
What?
So
It was Ajax. I was cleaning the table.
I guess what they said is I
cleaning the trash.
haven't read I think he was at the World Juniors, which is in Czechoslovakia, or no, the Worlds. I'm sorry, not the World Juniors, and which Finland won. So good job, Finland. They beat Canada. But
that a country?
I think he was there with the Russian teams, and the Russians are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I bet what I'm
figure.
guessing was he was in a situation where they were doing some stuff and having fun at a VIP room or something, and someone
mine.
happened to
It's not mine.
videotape and saw some chopped up white lines in front of him, and he was sitting there. He wasn't doing
Not
anything.
mine.
He
Not
was
mine.
sitting at the table when there were
Okay.
some chopped up white lines.
Who
That's
has
what was said. And that's what the video showed. And the NHL accepted his explanation, no supplementary discipline.
That's
Wow.
right.
So
Didn't judge it, didn't
I'm guessing it was what he basically said was wrong place, wrong time, and
Exactly.
I shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
My bad.
Exactly. Good for you. That's
Glad I'm
that's
not an NFL or an NBA
that's the
player.
story
'cause
I
I still
would've
have a
said, too.
job.
You know what? And I mean,
And
all
Merlin,
right.
that's a true
I mean,
statement.
like,
I never touched
should
it.
people be able to just say, like, look, dude, somebody else was doing blow and I was there. Fucking what the fuck?
Yeah,
is your
and
problem
because
about it?
I'm famous, they were, hey, look at Evgeny Kuznetsov
You know, I
here.
mean, yeah. I just feel like that's the kind of thing that just bums people out about being a professional athlete in the first place. I mean, I wonder if there's anybody that's ever not gone into the pros for one reason or another because they felt like they weren't going to be able to have as much fun as they wanted to
Well,
playing.
we
the
know
game
Ricky
that they
Williams
love.
quit for that reason.
Yeah, well,
So-
I mean, Ricky needed to stay off the grass anyway.
I'm just
Hey.
saying.
Ricky was a little funny.
Hey, well, that
Ricky Williams was
well,
like this whenever he was getting kicked off.
will
the
anything like that trade ever happen again?
No, never.
Where you trade your whole draft, all your picks in 1 year for one
I
player?
can't imagine it
Absolutely
would. I
not.
think lessons learned after that.
And Ricky Williams coming out of UT. He was a
buddy.
fucking animal.
He was an animal.
He was an
huge.
animal.
He just
They were
liked
like,
the
next
greens.
OJ, next Barry, and he probably could have been.
If he stayed
But he
on
was
the
too
greens.
high.
He,
Yeah, he was too high.
He was
he,
too high.
hey,
That's okay.
he was a guy that just liked doing his thing. He
So,
liked to do what he wanted to
can we
do.
talk about the NFL a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, what are your thoughts on? I've got something of a lightning round of about 12 different topics. I was thinking,
Shit, yeah,
can
let's
hit
do
real
it.
quick.
Let's do it.
So here we go. So this is basically a list of 12 topics that I ripped a little bit of this off a few other articles about biggest questions for each team kind of thing.
Right on.
So we're getting a slowly developing picture of what the NFL is going to look like, and I know we're way early, but at least these questions are somewhat relevant. So I'm just going to kind of go through it.
90
Y'all just
days, by the
fucking
way.
yell at me, all right? So let's get shenanigans about it.
So wait, you do want us to yell at you or don't?
I do
yell
want
at
you to fucking yell
Alright.
at me. So starting with
Yell
the
at me.
Falcons, do you think Devontae Freeman with Tevin Coleman's out? Do you think Devontae Freeman's gonna be able to be a solid first string running back? You know, an all
Yes.
down, every down running back.
Yes.
But the entire season.
yes.
Yeah.
No, entire season, no. I guarantee he gets hurt probably
Do you
halfway
think
through.
they need another?
If they don't do a change of pace back like they had with Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman was
that always
was,
emerges. That third
Yeah.
down back always emerges some point in the season. I say yes, he's going to be healthy the whole season.
I think
and
Atlanta
have
had
over
a-
1,000 yards, over probably 400 yards pass catching, probably 1,000 yards rushing.
I think so too, but I think if they're using him as a bell cow, I think he's gonna get hurt a little bit more because Atlanta had a stable of backs. They had Jaquiz Rogers, they had Tevin Coleman, they had a bunch of
they were
guys
able to
there.
run
They were even using wide receivers as out of the backfield,
And that's why I think they'll still find that back. It's not going to be the Freeman show for 4 downs every fucking
Yeah,
time.
Right, not at all. But I mean, do you think Matty Ice is gonna be able to throw the ball enough to keep the pressure off the running game? I mean, he's gonna have to go downfield because he can't
Dude.
just go out the flats every time. Because
I tell you what, man.
Yeah,
He's
and
got the receivers. He
they
can.
like
Matty
that
Ice has got a
style of
cannon.
ball anyway, so the running back's not.
I
Gonna
mean,
get it
you
every
got
play.
Julio Jones on the team,
Exactly.
so I think
And
that
the,
you're
and,
gonna be
and the
all
other
right.
kid from Bama.
So here,
I
let's
can't remember
talk
his name
about
right
let's
now,
keep it
but-
going lightning round style, right?
Yeah,
All right, so
yeah,
let's
yeah.
talk about another major receiver we're talking about. I cannot wait to see what the hell ODB looks like in a Browns.
Woo!
They say crap.
So
I
they
am
say
an
crap because
Odell
everybody
Beckham
says
slappy. I am a slappy for Odell Beckham.
He's
I
missed
love him.
8 out of 9 OTAs so far, but they say he'll be there for all the everything else. But
I
he hasn't
I-
really shown up on the Browns field yet.
I really don't.
buddy.
I don't really
Well, hey,
care
Cyrus,
for.
one second, real quick. Check
Sure,
this
yeah.
out. Local from the exchange, Chef Tony.
Ooh.
Tell us a little bit about what we're
we
eating
got
right
a
here.
little
Scott, thank you,
poutine
brother.
fries
Good.
for the love of Canada. We
For
got
the
some
love of Canada. Scott, thank you, brother. Appreciate
Wisconsin
it, man.
cheddar cheese curds, little brown gravy, fries, 50-50 half
buddy.
sweet
Right
potato,
on.
half
fucking
fresh.
Canadian boys.
And we have our bruschetta with our cherry compote, prosciutto, balsamic reduction,
I like it.
fresh basil, and what's that cheese? Oh yeah, brie cheese.
Brie cheese.
Woo! I love a
Yeah,
brie.
buddy.
I love a good brie.
Yep.
So tell me about
Tasty,
that ODB,
tasty.
man. So
I
I mean, you-
fucking love ODB, man.
why? He's
I
got a
do.
hell of a hand, one hand. You know,
Yeah,
he made
but
that one
you know
catch.
he's got. All right,
I
That was the
kidding. He
five.
made
was
lots
lower
of
for.
he's had a quarterback in the twilight of his career who throws more interceptions than he does fucking
The
touchdowns.
Twilight.
Yeah, I believe Eli should have been out of the league last year.
I
I believe
Like-
that too,
I
but I
do.
mean, like, when was he ever in the limelight? The motherfucker
No, yeah, I
accidentally-
mean, I mean,
he
he.
accidentally won 2 Super Bowls. I mean,
Yeah.
He's always second fiddle to his brother, to be honest.
I
with
mean,
you.
you're a
Sorry,
little bit
Eli,
more.
but
You're a little bit more anti Eli because you're in the same division with him. But
You're right.
similar to how I'm anti Aaron Rodgers, but I still respect what Aaron Rodgers has done for the game. And
Oh, buddy. And that's how it goes.
holy shiza!
Hey,
God,
Scotty.
thank you
Forgot about
again.
that. God
And one more
damn it.
time from
Woo.
the exchange, we got 4 starfuckers, right?
But I tell you this, dude. ODB, yeah, he's not. I mean, but I love Terrell Owens when
Oh,
Terrell
thank you,
Owens
sir.
was playing.
Just a couple forks. Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like I love T.O. T.O. was one of my favorite players.
Yeah, he was good.
I
Because
love T.O.
on
too.
the field, I loved watching T.O. and I loved watching
Dion,
ODB.
same way, man.
Yeah, exactly. Off the field and all the bullshit antics, like fuck it, I don't care about that. But like I love
NASCAR shit
every
right
time
there.
you're watching him match up with somebody, and it's like Calvin Johnson. And I think Calvin Johnson was one of the best players of all time because he
Agreed.
was humble. He did everything without ever
With no quarterback.
yeah.
Thank you,
but
man.
but with ODB, I think ODB is I think he's right there. And I think in Cleveland it's gonna be boom or bust. I think he's either gonna be just off the charts good or he's gonna be a bust.
Oh,
And
he's got Mayfield throwing to him. Trust me, he's going to catch.
I was
some
gonna say, I
football.
mean, he's gonna-
He's
Taylor?
going to have
He's gonna be able to
1,000
launch it.
yard, 900.
he had
yard
Eli throwing
fucking
to him, and
season.
Eli was throwing so many more picks. I think
Exactly.
Baker can't go wrong, right?
All right, so
Exactly.
let's
No,
talk
no.
about somebody else who knows how to throw that long ball. So my man Joe Flacco is wearing
Cyrus?
his Denver Broncos jersey right now.
Oh, God.
What the hell is going on with that? Who knows how to explain what Joe
I don't
Flacco?
know.
You want to see what
John
he looks
Elway
like?
has lost
Looks
his
like that.
mind. He has lost his
What
mind.
is going on?
Yeah,
I know,
Joe
it's
Flacco
weird.
should have been out of the league
So I don't buy
you
that.
want to
though.
talk about guys that maybe shouldn't have a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Joe Flacco,
No
Rich
shit.
Gannon.
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God
Trent
damn.
Dilfer. Basically everybody. So,
Hey,
all right,
the Baltimore defense gave Joe Flacco a fucking
right. So, but I
Super
mean,
Bowl.
but tell me about that
Yeah.
Denver defense. Do you think Denver's gonna be able to do enough to hold the score down to keep Joe Flacco in a position
No.
where he can throw the ball 19 different times all the way downfield and only have 2 receptions?
Yeah, no.
And
Not against Kansas City.
No.
Well, we're getting there. in just a
Actually,
second.
everybody can do what they want against Kansas
Hey,
City right now.
I'd say this.
They're going to be
on
mired in
Denver's
mediocrity
defense,
again.
Von Miller is one of the best players I've ever watched.
That's what I'm
play.
saying. If they can
And-
control the defensive side of the
Yeah.
ball, Joe Flacco might actually have enough time to think, and he might actually have enough time to really aim where he's going. But hey, man, but it all comes down to that running game. So I'd like to throw up a nice cheers to them Dallas Cowboys. Go Cowboys! Why? Because I'm about to ask you guys a question about the Dallas
Fuck
Cowboys.
the Cowboys.
Hey.
Answer me this: who is more valuable, Zeke or Dak, and why?
Quarterback
Oh, God.
always. Come on.
Yeah, I have to say Dak, just because I've seen so many running backs, come through. I've seen so many running backs go through Dallas that I was like, all right, these guys, this is the guy. This is the next guy. Marion Barber, remember that motherfucker?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Marion
Holy
Barber.
shit, Marion
I
Barber.
thought he was the Predator.
DeMarco Murray.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean,
Right. Exactly.
they have a habit of putting out running backs for a couple of years that I think just overachieve. And I'm not saying Zeke is an overachiever.
Right.
I think
no, he's a great
I think
running
he's
back.
a phenomenal running back. But
He
I
finds
think their
trouble,
problem
though.
has always been with a quarterback. And I think if you get a stable, a responsible quarterback behind there, and I think Dak's getting there. I
agree with you. I
I
think
don't
you're
think he's going to light the world on fire. I think and I don't want to say game manager.